Sometimes a single viral moment can make someone unforgettable. But the truth behind that smile never reaches the world. Most people know Sydney Hardeman as the wide-eyed Beyonce fan whose stunned expression in the Homecoming documentary became one of the most replayed beyhive clips ever. For millions, she embodied pure excitement, the young woman who waited half a day just to stand inches away from her hero. But beyond the memes and the laughter, her real story carried a weight no one ever imagined. It all started with one dream and 12 hours under the burning Coachella sun. Because before the internet made her face iconic, Sydney was just a determined girl begging her mom for one ticket, a moment her mother now recalls with a heartbreaking smile. Sydney didn't take no very easily when it came to Beyonce, and once she convinced her mom, she grabbed her brother and best friend, flew from Texas to California, and showed up believing that one night could change everything. And somehow, it did. She charged through the gate the second it opened, running full speed, grabbing the barricade like it was the finish line, refusing to step away even for a minute. For 12 hours she stood under the blazing sky, no shade, barely any rest, running purely on adrenaline and love. And when Beyonce finally rose onto that stage, Sydney's reaction became instant history. That explosive moment of disbelief, joy, and emotion was captured by Beyonce's own team and forever preserved in the Netflix film Homecoming. Overnight, Sydney became a symbol, not of fame, but of feeling. The beyhive adored her, but the world only saw the surface. Behind that famous expression was a young woman who had an entire life, a life filled with dreams, talent, and silent struggles. Sydney wasn't just a fan. She grew up performing Beyonce medleys, winning senior awards for her dances. She played basketball from childhood all the way through college. Later, she trained as a flight instructor, a job built on discipline, calmness, and trust. Everyone around her remembered her as bright, funny, full of energy, someone who walked into a room and instantly made it warmer. But even the warmest lights can dim quietly. Her family noticed small changes, a drop in her usual spark, a shift in her energy. It began after her grandfather passed away, a loss that hit her far harder than she let on publicly. She kept smiling, working, performing, sharing photos. But something inside her had quietly fractured. They urged her to talk to someone. She said she would. She booked appointments. But every time, she canceled. Not because she didn't want help, but because some battles feel impossible to explain. From the outside, everything looked perfect. She was engaged. She had a wedding date. She had a career she loved, a circle of friends, a family that adored her. She was building a future that looked promising from every angle. But on the inside, she was fighting something the world never got to see. And then last Saturday, everything changed. Her mother's voice breaks every time she tells it. Sydney Hardeman, the girl whose joy radiated across a documentary, died by suicide at just 25 years old. A devastating ending no one around her ever imagined. There were no dramatic signs, no warning posts, no clear answers, only heartbreak and questions her family may never fully understand. They look back at old photos, old conversations, tiny moments that didn't seem alarming at the time. They're trying desperately to reconcile the happy girl they knew with the silent battles she carried alone. And in their grief, her family asked for something simple, compassion. No judgment, no speculation, just kindness for a life that meant so much. But then Sydney's mother said something that shook everyone listening, through tears. She spoke directly to the young people watching. The same community that had embraced her daughter. "You guys haven't gotten to the good part yet," she said softly. A reminder that life doesn't peak as a teenager, doesn't end at 25, and often the best moments are still ahead, even when everything feels dark. She urged people to stop pretending to be strong every second, to lean on the people who love them, to allow others in, instead of carrying everything alone. Sometimes, you just need to be vulnerable, so people can help you. She said words meant for anyone hiding their pain behind jokes, memes, or bright smiles. Just like Sydney sometimes did. And then came the sentence that broke the internet. Sydney never meant to leave you. She loved all of you. Not anger, not blame, just love, and a plea for others to reach out when they feel overwhelmed. What happened next online proved how deeply Sydney had touched the world. Her clip from Homecoming returned everywhere. Fans posted tributes, edits, slideshows, old tweets, celebrating the raw joy she gave the world in that one unforgettable moment. People who never knew her name until now were writing emotional messages about how her happiness made them smile, and maybe that's the beauty of her legacy, that a single moment of pure human emotion can ripple across the world long after someone is gone. Sydney's story reminds us that even the brightest smiles can hide battles we don't see. She spread joy without trying, and her iconic reaction will live forever. But her life carries a deeper message, that asking for help is strength, not weakness. That vulnerability can save lives. That talking to someone, a friend, a parent, a therapist, can make a difference. Sydney was loved. She mattered. And the joy she gave the world will never fade. If her story reached you, check in on someone today. And take care of yourself, too.